Hello and welcome to Parenting Hacks with Dr. Yanina. I am so excited that you are here with me today. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And this is episode 11. And episode 11 is the part 2 of a 2-video series in which I'm talking about preteen and teen sexting. So if you haven't had the chance to watch episode number 10, I really recommend that you do that, because in episode number 10, I talk about the emotional consequences of sexting, and I share with you one parenting hack that will help you deal with those emotional consequences. In episode number 11 of sexting, preteen and teen sexting, I'm going to be talking about the legal consequences of sexting that sometimes our preteens and teens are not aware of them. So before I dive into my parenting hack today, I just want to define the word sexting and when I'm talking about sexting, what is it that I'm referring to? And basically, sexting is sending or receiving sexually explicit images, videos, or messages via electronic devices. So, oftentimes, and I talked about this in episode number 10, but I also want to mention it in episode 11 as well, is that oftentimes what makes our preteens and teens, our children, to do sexting is peer pressure. They think that everyone is doing it. Just because they have heard that a couple of kids are doing it in their school or in the neighborhood, they make the assumption that everyone is doing it. So if that's your kid's assumption, I really encourage you to check out episode number 10, because I talk a little bit about that too. Also, unhealthy relationships. A boyfriend asks the girl that if she really loves him, just go ahead and send them a nude video or picture, and the other way around. It happens to boys and girls as well. Also, they do it because they want to be accepted, because they are under that assumption that everyone is doing it, and also because they want to hook up with another kid and they want to impress that kid first. It's kind of like check out the material before you dive in kind of thing. So, all these different things have emotional consequences, which I share in episode number 10. But also legal consequences, because it's very important that our children know these legal consequences. So the parenting hack that I want to go over today is educate your kid or talk about the legal consequences when it comes to sexting. As I said before, not all kids are aware that there are legal consequences on sexting. They think that it's just sending nude pictures and naked body pictures, and that's it, fun, it's over, and no one's gonna catch them, nothing is gonna happen to them. But the reality is that you and I know that is not true. So it's important that you take the time to have a conversation about the legal consequences. And in episode number 10, I give you a few extra tips on how to start this conversation. So the tips that I share in episode 10 apply to episode 11. The importance of not coming in a judgmental kind of attitude, but rather in a more curiosity and a more caring kind of attitude. So just come curious as to if your child knows about these consequences, not just assume that they do not. So, when you have the opportunity, when your child opens up his or her attention to you, and you have this opportunity to talk about the legal consequences, let them know that sexting is illegal, is against the law. And it's very important that they know that they are breaking the law if they sext. So there are different charges when it comes to sexting, and it varies per state, but they're related to child pornography. So when a child, like if your son or daughter sends a picture of herself, granted that she's a minor, of course, sends a nude picture of herself to someone else, she is breaking 3 laws. She is taking the picture of a minor, even though it's her. She needs to understand that that's still against the law, or him. She is distributing that picture, and she has possession of the picture. So it's about taking the picture, possession of the picture, and distributing that picture. So these are serious consequences. They need to know that just because it's their picture, they're not breaking the law. Yes, they are breaking the law, and they need to do that. They, depending on the states here in the United States, there are jail fines. Jail time rather. There are fines, and some states they even go as far as charging like a sex offender. Then that your child can be identified as a sex offender. And they need to know the consequences of that, the lifelong consequences of these type of decisions that they're making, these type of silly, as they think they are, silly behaviors that hopefully they think that they will never be caught. There are serious consequences, and they need to be aware of that. Because again, as I mentioned in episode 10, colleges are looking into these kind of information, social media, backgrounds, and also jobs. When people hire, they do background they checks. So if your child is caught with sexting with nude photos and possession, then this is gonna come when they are adults. So they really need to understand these consequences, and it's important that they know. So I really encourage you to monitor their devices. Keep in mind that they're still your children. Just because they're 16 or 17 doesn't mean that you as a mom cannot go into their phone and check their phone. Let them know that this is a practice that you are going to be observing now. If you haven't done it before, let them know that you're going to be doing that, that once in a while you're going to be checking their phone without even announcing them, so that they need to have that you're going to have access to their phone, and they need to allow that access. Otherwise, as simple as you will not pay for their phone bill. That's it. As simple as they need to understand that just because they have a phone, it doesn't mean that you are not a parent to their child, that area in their life doesn't require parenting. They need to understand that, yes, this area requires parenting. And if you're paying for the phone, if you're paying for the phone bill, you can definitely check into that, because you are mom after all. So always think about that. Don't feel that because your child has a phone and has grown a little bit and is 14, 15, whatever, that you will be traumatizing them because you are being a mom, a concerned mom, checking on their phone. I wouldn't encourage you to do it every day, of course, and I'm sure they're going to complain about it. But as a mom, as a concerned mom, it's okay for you to monitor your child's phone. It's okay. Do it once in a while without announcing it. But yeah, these are my two. I guess I gave you two parenting hacks in this video. Make sure you have open conversations about the legal consequences of sexting, and monitor your child's devices. It's okay to do that. After all, you are mom and you're paying the bill. So that's what I have for you today. Again, remind your children that these can have lifelong consequences that can totally be avoided by not sexting. That can totally be out of the question by not sexting. So thank you so much for watching today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I remind you that if you would like to check out my parenting resources, my parenting blog, I invite you to head over to my website at www.dryanina.com. So until my next episode, have a wonderful week and stay healthy. Talk to you in my next episode. Bye.